For legal answers, News 12 Law Call every Sunday night at 11:30.
The dentist will be right in.
Hey, I heard you're retired.
Our summer diamond event has returned, making a special purchase easier than ever. For the entire month of June, get 5 years 0 down and 0 interest with approved credit. This is an in-store event with a selection of fine jewelry that few stores in the world can compete with. Come see new spring styles from your favorite designers, or pop the big question with an engagement ring. Celebrate summer with a special gift from Windsor Fine Jewelers.
You can find ice-cold refreshment right here at Parker's Kitchen. Cool off with a large coffee or frozen drink for just 79 cents. Only at Parker's Kitchen.
Live from Augusta, you're watching News 12 live at 5.
Well, live at 5, take a look at this. Video captures the moment of what appears to be a meteor blazing across the sky just hours ago. There it is on your screen. This is video sent to us by a News 12 viewer over in Columbia County. Our phones were ringing back to back as viewers described a ball of fire in the sky at around noon. And this wasn't something that we only saw right here at home. We're seeing reports of it reaching as far as Tennessee. Good evening, and thanks for joining us here live at 5. I'm Will Rio. We go now live to your First Alert Chief Meteorologist Riley Hale over at SRP Park. Riley, this is the talk of the town on social media right now. What can you tell us about this?
Well, we'll actually just got an update that the National Weather Service in Peachtree City just posted. I was mentioning this if you followed our live hit on our digital hit on our website earlier this afternoon. We were talking about how when we were looking at the National Weather Service chat that they actually got reports from Henry County that a potential piece of that meteorite actually went through someone's home and their roof, and they actually just posted this on social media, so I'll read it straight for you here. So from the National Weather Service in Peachtree City, they're saying it appears that either a meteor or space junk crossed the skies of North Georgia just before 12:30 p.m. Numerous reports of an earthquake came in shortly after, followed by sightings and video of a flash across the sky seen as far away as Macon in the upstate of South Carolina. That earthquake you felt was the result of the sonic boom from that meteor or space junk. But the thing is, they were not able to track the object with radar as it would have traveled too high and too fast to resolve. But they were able to use the geostationary lightning mapper from satellite to actually pick up this phenomenon entering Henry County. So the Henry County Emergency Management Agency passed along pictures from a citizen that reported a rock fell through their ceiling around that time of the reports of the earthquake. They are presuming that this piece of the object fell through their roof. Henry County EMA reports that the object broke through the roof and the ceiling before cracking the laminate on the floor and finally stopping. So very impressive stuff actually happening with these fireball displays across the area today. So make sure you are out here at SRP Park. We got ballpark brawl going on out here. This actually, they just opened up the gates for it, and we got sunshine. Finally, we broke the storm chances, and it's not feeling as hot for us. So it's a beautiful afternoon to be here on the Savannah River. Come on out. They're not going to ring the bell until 6:30 p.m., so still plenty of time to get out here. But we'll have a look at that forecast for you in just a bit.
Sounds good. Thanks, Riley. We'll check back in with you later in the show. Bullet hose through a car and a home. It's what's left after a 10-year-old girl was found shot and killed in her bed. Aiken County deputies were called off to a home in Pine Log Road in Beach Island just before midnight last night. They were called there for someone firing shots. Now, when they got there, they found Lavinia Lowe, who was dead. So far, no arrest, but a neighborhood and a family left reeling. Your Kayla Lopez joins us live at 5 in the newsroom. Kayla, you spoke to neighbors out there. Understandably, I'm sure that they're shaken up. What did they have to say?
Well, neighbors tell us this is a normally quiet street, so when severe storms came through the area last night, the loud noise originally didn't raise an alarm to them. But instead of waking up to storm damage, neighbors woke up to an even greater tragedy. Broken windows, bullet holes, and a family that will never be the same. One neighbor said she's been living in the neighborhood since 1995, and nothing like this has happened in the past. Others are looking towards the future, wondering what this means for a community filled with families.
When things like this happen so close to you, Like I said, you feel like it can't happen near you, but then it does, and then you hear that it's a little girl, and you're like, how safe is anyone, really? You know, how can you be completely positive of anyone's safety?
And to put in perspective how tight-knit this community is, there are less than 10 houses on the whole street. Some neighbors tell us things will never be the same, but they know the community will come together in the end.
And such a heartbreaking story there out of Aiken County. Thankfully, it seems like no other families were hurt or injured by this incident. But of course, we'll continue to follow this and keep you guys updated. Thank you for that, Kayla. The U.S. Supreme Court says South Carolina can move forward with its efforts to defund abortion providers like Planned Parenthood. The court's ruling just came down today in the Medina v. Planned Parenthood case that it heard earlier this year. Our State House reporter Mary Green explains what this decision means for South Carolinians.
This case started with a 2018 executive order Governor Henry McMaster issued prohibiting abortion providers from participating in South Carolina's Medicaid program for non-abortion services. 7 years later, the nation's highest court says South Carolina can now enforce this order. It hasn't been in effect because of a pending lawsuit brought by Planned Parenthood South Atlantic and one of its patients. At the center of this case was the question of whether Medicaid recipients can sue, as one did in this case, to select the qualified provider they want. In a 6-3 decision with all 6 conservative justices in the majority, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled they cannot, clearing the way for South Carolina to enforce its policy. In a statement, Governor Henry McMaster said in part, quote, 7 years ago, we took a stand to protect the sanctity of life and defend South Carolina's authority and values, and today we are finally victorious.
Now, instead of patients deciding where to get care, that power lies with the state.
Planned Parenthood operates 2 South Carolina clinics in Charleston and Columbia and says this ruling will cut off lower-income South Carolinians' access to services like cancer screenings, birth control, and STI testing. This decision also impacts an abortion clinic in Greenville that is not run by Planned Parenthood, along with those organizations' telehealth services. This does not apply to abortion services, which are already barred from receiving federal funds like Medicaid reimbursements.
We are continuing to explore all of our options to keep our doors open to all patients, including those with Medicaid coverage. We will never back down, and we will continue to fight.
For now, this ruling only impacts South Carolina, though Planned Parenthood says it does open the door for other states to take similar action. This decision also is not in effect immediately, pending lower court action, and it's unclear when exactly it'll go into effect. Reporting from the State House, I'm Mary Green.
In South Carolina, Attorney General Alan Wilson releasing a statement praising the ruling. It reads in part, quote, the Supreme Court just slammed the door on Planned Parenthood's latest attempt to force its radical agenda through the courts on our state. South Carolina, not federal judges or D.C. activist groups, gets to decide how we run our Medicaid program. The state of one of the oldest neighborhoods in Augusta will be the center of discussion in less than an hour. We're talking about the Harrisburg neighborhood, and we're showing you what that looks like right now. Neighbors who live in the Harrisburg community are bringing their concerns to the table at a town hall. These are the details. It starts at 6 p.m. at the E.W. Hagler Boys and Girls Club. Key topics include crime, infrastructure, and maintenance. Now, the calls for the meeting comes weeks after a shootout between teenagers sparked panic and put the entire neighborhood on lockdown for more than an hour. But District 1 Commissioner Jordan Johnson and neighbors say crime isn't the only issue in the neighborhood. Rundown properties are a huge concern for neighbors, and it's expected to be a hot topic tonight. We spoke to 2 organizations ahead of that meeting who are coming together to make Harrisburg a better, safer place to live.
I love to have a block party and to start like a little cleanup project on a Saturday morning. And I love to watch sometimes the neighbors watching. And then, you know, next thing you know, they're outside sweeping or they're asking to join us.
We are an integrated part of just everyday life. We have generational families that come, so we have lunch and learns for seniors. We have summer tutoring for kids. We have traditional school year tutoring for kids through the Harris Literacy Center and Rise Augusta. We have a farmers market during growing season every Thursday.
Commissioner Johnson says he is hopeful tonight's town hall will be the first step towards change. And you have less than an hour to make it out to that town hall. Again, it starts at 6 p.m. at the E.W. Hagler Boys and Girls Club. Coming up all new on News 12 at 6 o'clock. We take you there live. Plus, we'll hear more from the community about what they feel needs to be done to make the neighborhood a safer and better place for everybody. A massive drug bust leads to the arrest of an Augusta man. We're showing you a photo of him right now. 45-year-old Roman Kelly. He was arrested on Tuesday. Investigators say Kelly had enough fentanyl to kill the entire population of Richmond County. On top of fentanyl, officials say he had meth, cocaine, and marijuana stashed in the hotel he was arrested at. He faces several drug trafficking charges. And 4 new homes just arrived in town for foster children in our area just hours ago. Murphy Harps Children's Center cut the ribbon on the new expansion. Take a look. And that was video from the ceremony. The new homes will house 4 foster children each, with 2 sets of foster parents in each home. Murphy Harps now has a total of 12 foster homes in Augusta, with more spread out across the entire state. The expansion is part of the nonprofit's Evolve initiative. We spoke to one girl who's reaping the benefits of this program.
Well, I'm just going to say that Murphy High School help you. That's the one thing they can do. They can help you. They're really kind to you, and they teach you how to become independent someday.
Evolve says it's the first of its kind program in the Peach State. And coming up, a Georgia teen thrown from his home during a tornado makes his return to the place where his life flashed before his eyes. We take you there coming up next.
And we are live at SRP Park for the Ballpark Brawl. We'll take a look at the forecast for tonight and also those storm chances heading into the weekend just after break.
Time and temp, brought to you by your First Alert weather team.
Combine a Bojangles Chicken Supreme with a
News 1226 and Aiken Technical College are giving a salute to seniors. To honor your graduate, submit a non-professional photo of them to wrdw.com/community, and they could be featured on air.
You got batteries for my side-by-side?
Yes.
Replace my flashlight?
Sure thing. What about my business?
Oh, good one.
100% batteries from my fleet of trucks.
Gas floor scrubbers?
Yes, and fire panels. We have pallets of batteries.
Well, what about...
As your go-to guy, if it needs a battery, we have it.
Well, that's all you had to say.
Could live with that. Batteries Plus, the experts in charge.
Now, your First Alert weather with Chief Meteorologist Riley Hale.
Well, nothing but bluebird skies right now over SRP Park. We have the Ballpark Brawl going on tonight, brought to you by Phoenix Wrestling Experience. They just opened up the gates for this. They're not going to ring the first bell until 6:30 p.m. They still have plenty of tickets available to head to this event. This is the first time they're actually been at SRP Park since earlier in March this year. So it is a little bit warm right now. We're at 93 degrees here in Augusta. But the thing is, by the time this starts, we should be falling into the 80s. And I can honestly say I've been outside the last couple of days with the extreme heat we've had. It does not feel as bad as what it did just yesterday and even Tuesday. So starting to improve that weather, turning much more seasonal. We got a nice little breeze here along the river. Forecast for this evening, not really expecting much rain. Remember, we've been talking about maybe there was that low severe weather risk today. It really looks like a lot of these storms are staying closer towards metro Atlanta and the coastline. And right now, I don't even see a cloud in the sky above us right now at SRP Park. So it does look like it is going to be a good forecast if you're heading out to this event tonight. As we head into tomorrow, it's going to be a hot day. We're expecting feel-like temperatures to maybe get up to 100 by the afternoon, but it's not going to be anything like what we saw Wednesday or Tuesday. So more seasonal heat out there for our Friday. Now, there is going to be the opportunity maybe for a straight shower and thunderstorm heading later into our Friday afternoon. But there's a look at this evening. You can see most of us do look dry. Early tomorrow morning, if you have early Friday plans, not expecting much rain. But by the afternoon, you can see, hey, maybe we got a few hit or miss showers and storms around. The thing is, another low severe weather threat tomorrow afternoon. Not expecting that to be necessarily widespread for everyone, though. Those will linger up until sunset. We'll dry out again heading into our Friday night. For the weekend, Saturday, I think we got a little bit better chance to maybe see a hit or miss storm later into the afternoon. So a heads up for weekend plans. Don't cancel anything just yet, but just know there is going to be that potential. Hey, yo, we just got a shout out on the loudspeaker here.
It sounds
From
like
truck the Experience Carlson.
And it
But
sounds like
7-day
the
forecast,
PA
we got
announcers
the
getting
chance
some
for
work.
storms. Yeah,
trying to drown out Riley a little bit there. Now to a good news update of a Georgia story going viral. A Henry County teen who got thrown from his home during a tornado returns to the place where his life flashed before his eyes. Reporter Alana Litang has the reaction.
That's your bed over there.
That's your bed over there.
That's my bed. Yeah.
When I first pulled up, just in shock seeing my house the way it was.
Living while recovering to tell his story, Malachi Cheney returned back to where he survived an EF2 tornado in May.
I feel truly blessed. Like someone's definitely watching over me. Gotta be to have me survive this and just talk to you today.
The tornado flattened the Cheneys' home, tossing Malachi some 300 feet from his second-floor bedroom all the way to the wooded area. His father, home at the time, got knocked out unconscious by debris, but when he came to, the search was on for Malachi. The neighbors who found him.
You just see a blessing walking right there. That's what, you know what I'm saying, what was going through my mind, you know, just seeing that man, you just get instantly happy.
He's smiling. I mean, he's walking out here smiling, greeting folks.
Malachi spent 14 days at Grady, then 10 days at Shepherd Center for Inpatient Rehab, where the average stay for patients with brain injuries is 48 days.
Were you shocked he was in and out so fast?
Literally, very shocked.
Malachi's speech therapist Carla Auerbach works with patients with brain injuries, fine-tuning cognition, swallowing, speech. She says Malachi's language was largely intact, so they focused on swallowing.
Within a couple days, he was ready to go. He wanted pizza, he wanted all the good stuff. So.
Chick-fil-A.
Oh, we did take him to Chick-fil-A.
Plus cognitive work to get him ready to go back to Savannah State.
And when he came in, he really exceeded everyone's expectations. He did unbelievably well. And, you know, from the very beginning, we knew he would excel.
Seeing how I am now compared to then is just kind of amazing seeing how far I've come, honestly.
He's my superhero. That's it.
Yeah.
He is truly my superhero.
And it's good to see him up and walking and doing well. It is incredible that he is alive after that. Malachi started outpatient therapy this week. His goal is to return to Savannah State University, but we're wishing him well in his continued recovery. As we brace the scorching heat, not everyone gets to work in air conditioning. Coming up, how you can stay safe if you work outdoors.
First Alert Radar, powered by Jim Hudson Automotive Group.
If you haven't called Senior Life Insurance,
Fresh for everyone.
Welcome back in, folks. It is a beautiful afternoon here across the CSRA. We finally got rid of our storms. It's finally feeling a little bit better. It's still hot, but at least it's average heat, not necessarily the close to 100-degree heat that we've seen over the past couple of afternoons. So thankfully, we've changed up our upper level pattern a little bit. We got a lot of sunshine out there. Pretty minimal rain chances. So if you want to come out to SRP Park tonight for a ballpark brawl, I think we got great weather for it, and temperatures will be dropping as we head later to this evening. Remember, this event doesn't start until 6:30, and by that time frame, we should be dropping into the 80s, or at least getting close to the 80s, so feeling a little bit better. Here's a current look at radar. You can see we have some storms closer towards Atlanta, kind of traveling along that 85 corridor, and then south of I-16. Luckily, not tracking a ton of rain right now here across the CSRA. Here's the latest on the severe weather threat. We've been talking about maybe a low chance for severe weather Thursday, Friday. Looks to be a very minimal risk, thankfully. So 7-day forecast, we do have the chance for storms Friday. Temps will be in the mid-90s through the weekend, and then next week, sticking with those storm chances each afternoon.
Sounds good. Thanks, Riley. Live at 5, we're on your side with a safety alert. Not everyone gets to work in the air conditioning, and for those who don't, we're on your side with ways to stay safe while bracing for that heat. Your Cameron Jacobs shows us how.
Honestly, you just got to keep going. It's hot, but we get the breaks. So with the breaks, that's kind of what we get our rest time in and then get right back to it because we got to finish the job.
Not everyone gets to work in air conditioning all day, and this local tree company feels the heat more than others throughout the day. Doctors Hospital's chief medical officer says you've got to look out for each other.
You know, what you want to do is just have a buddy system, right? Plan for the hot heat. Make sure that you're constantly rehydrating over the day. Certainly just keep an eye out for one another and make sure that nobody's getting overheated. And if they are getting overheated, just take a break.
Tidwell says that's a priority for them.
Well, main thing thing we do is we try to get this bigger cooler full of ice and water, a Powerade. We make sure that the guys are getting breaks at least every 30 to 45 minutes.
On the hot days, this crew doubles in size to make sure workers get ample water and breaks, and looking out for one another on a job site that is already dangerous.
We're not going to just keep pushing and pushing and pushing because, I mean, this heat is dangerous and we don't want anybody having heat stroke or anything like that.
Some good tips there. Sure, it's hot, but that also means it's perfect pool weather. This morning, the city of Aiken invited families to be a part of the world's largest swimming lesson. Now, the global event started in 2010. Children from the ages of 3 to 17 were invited to Aiken's public pool with their parents to help learn some vital water safety skills.
And kids will learn everything from basic breaststrokes, floating on their back, treading water, how to get in and out of a pool safely. What we want to emphasize is water is fun, but it can also be dangerous, so give them some basic safety skills that allow them to enjoy the water, but also be safe.
And the city of Aiken is hosting more swim lessons as well as the YMCAs in the area. For a full list of times and days, you can head to our website, wrdw.com, to sign up. Stick with us. We have more after a short break.
Right now at Rooms to Go, shop sizzling hot.
Our summer diamond event has returned, making a special purchase easier than ever. For the entire month of June, get 5 years 0 down and 0 interest with approved credit. This is an in-store event with a selection of fine jewelry that few stores in the world can compete with. Come see new spring styles from your favorite designers, or pop the big question with an engagement ring. Celebrate summer with a special gift from Windsor Fine Jewelers.
Trust Chief Meteorologist Riley Hale for your first alert.
Right now at Rooms to Go Kids, shop these hot buys. Awesome bunk and lofts starting at just $4.99. Perfect for sleep, storage, study, and more. It's the styles they love for less. Plus fast delivery and expert setup. Now at Rooms to Go Kids.
Welcome back in, folks. It is a nice seasonal afternoon here across the CS area. We've finally been able to break the intense heat that we've had over the last couple of days. No heat advisories in effect. Happy to say that. It is a little bit warm out here still. We still got temps low 90s across most of the area. Bushfield, that warmest spot, currently at 93, and that's pretty much what our high temp has been so far today. We are looking at plenty of sunshine out here. Luckily, our storm chances looking very minimal. If you have plans to maybe head out this evening to Ballpark Brawl, I think we got great weather in store for it. Now, looking ahead to the weekend forecast, there's going to be the chance for maybe a stray shower or storm each afternoon. Those high temps will remain seasonal in the mid-90s. Quick look at your 7-day forecast. We're going to stay with hot temps heading into the weekend. Next week, it looks very similar with just seasonal weather.
Severe weather season is here. When you're good, you get the first alert with forecasts where you live. WRDW First Alert Weather on your side.
Now's the time for a great...
I'm 8th generation watermelon farmer and NASCAR driver Ross Chastain. And one thing's for sure, racing with professional drivers requires me to use my melon. So if you've had a drink after a long day at work or celebrated a little too much, always surrender those keys to a sober designated driver. And you should never mix drinking with any kind of driving, and that's using your melon.
A message from the Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
We're here for the walk-offs.
And live at 5 right inside with a safety alert, not for meteorites falling out of the sky, but ongoing water issues in Aiken. We've been receiving calls and emails from our viewers all about this. The city says the water system continues to experience widespread water discoloration, but officials say the water is safe and no boil water advisory is currently in place. However, you are recommended to avoid using the water to wash clothes or other tasks. Now, on your screen are some steps officials want you to take if you're having discolored water issues. You need to run your downstairs faucets and outdoor spigots for at least 4 gallons or until it clears. Now, if after running the water, the water does not clear up, there may be discolored water in the water main at that point. In this case, you should refrain from using water for some time or try to run your faucets again. Again, the city is working to flush hydrants throughout the city to make sure that that water is clear again. An update to a developing 12 on Your Side investigate story. Burke County Sheriff Alfonso Williams has filed his petition for a writ of mandamus against the Burke County Board of Commissioners, asking a judge to stop commissioners from interfering with his budget decisions. Now, this comes during a years-long legal battle between the sheriff and commissioners regarding that budget. Sheriff Alfonso Williams claims commissioners and the county manager are illegally interfering with his budget decisions. We will continue to follow this case through the court process, and of course, we'll keep you updated. In Live at 5, a new CDC vaccine advisory panel is wrapping up a 2-day meeting in Atlanta. They made new recommendations about this year's flu shots. The panel was handpicked by U.S. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Your Georgia State House reporter Abby Kasoris explains.
The Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices finished their 2-day meeting here at the Atlanta-based Center for Disease Control. They meet just a few times a year to set the vaccine recommendation schedule. It's the gold standard for doctors to decide who should get vaccinated when and how many doses. The panel of 7 members, all new. Earlier this month, HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy cleaned house, dismissing their 17 predecessors. He called the panel ripe with pharmaceutical conflicts. The panel's recommendations will impact what vaccines are covered by insurance, voting to recommend that all flu shots are free of an ingredient called thimerosal that contains roughly 50% mercury. Anti-vaccine groups have falsely tied the preservative to autism.
Fear of mercury is substantial.
You could see one member on the panel exhausted by the discussion. The premise has been debated and debunked repeatedly.
Thimerosal is included in most vaccines that are administered around the globe.
A 20-minute drive away, we visited MG Finn's lab. The chemistry professor, whose Georgia Tech graduate students are in the lab running tests. He says he's deeply concerned for the future spread of diseases.
I'm deeply concerned, as I think anyone would be who cares about scientifically valid decision-making in healthcare.
Finn says comments made by the panel perpetuate conspiracy theories, undermining public trust in vaccines, tested time and time again.
The folks you've mentioned have a track record of either being parts of or representing organizations that lie. They lie about medical fact, and one has to ask oneself, why do they do that? Presumably they do it because they get attention and money and power.
The committee voted to approve of the RSV vaccine as well. Those recommendations typically approved by the CDC director, but in this case, the nominee has not been confirmed, so it will be up to Secretary Kennedy. HHS has repeatedly defended the panel picks, calling them some of the most qualified individuals, saying, quote, the new members will ensure that evidence-based medicine, the gold standard of science, and common sense are used for all vaccine policy decisions. In Atlanta, I'm Abby Kasoris.
And back here at home, the state of one of the oldest neighborhoods in Augusta will be the center of discussion in less than 30 minutes. We're talking about the Harrisburg neighborhood, and we're showing you what that looks like right now. Now, neighbors who live in the Harrisburg community are bringing their concerns to the table at a town hall. These are the details. It starts at 6 p.m. at the E.W. Hagler Boys and Girls Club. Key topics include crime, infrastructure, and of course, maintenance too. Now, the call for the meetings comes weeks after a shootout between teenagers sparked panic and put the entire neighborhood on lockdown for more than an hour. But District 1 Commissioner Jordan Johnson and neighbors say crime isn't the only issue in the neighborhood. Rundown properties are a huge concern for neighbors, and it's expected to be a hot topic tonight. We spoke to 2 organizations ahead of the meeting who are coming together to make Harrisburg a better, safer place to live.
I love to have a block party and to start like a little cleanup project on a Saturday morning. And I love to watch sometimes the neighbors watching. And then, next thing you know, they're outside sweeping or they're asking to join us.
We are an integrated part of just everyday life. We have generational families that come. So we have lunch and learns for seniors. We have summer tutoring for kids. We have traditional school year tutoring for kids through the Harris Literacy Center and Rise Augusta. We have a farmer's market during growing season every Thursday.
Commissioner Johnson says he is hopeful tonight's town hall will be the first step towards change. And you have less than 30 minutes to make it. It starts at 6 p.m. at the E.W. Hagler Boys and Girls Club, as we said. We'll have more on this all new on News 12 at 6 o'clock. A massive drug bust leads to the arrest of an Augusta man. We're showing you his photo right now. 45-year-old Roman Kelly. He was arrested on Tuesday. Now, investigators say Kelly had enough fentanyl to kill the entire population of Richmond County. On top of fentanyl, officials say he had meth, cocaine, and marijuana stashed in the hotel where he was arrested at. He faces several drug trafficking charges. Turns out Asia Newell won't be getting rid of the Georgia red and black anytime soon. Hear from the forward after last night's Atlanta pick, coming up next.
And we are live here at SRP Park for the Ballpark Brawl. We'll take a look at the forecast for this event and also our storm chances heading into the weekend just after the break.
Time and temp, brought to you by your First Alert weather team. Will Rio, honored for journalism with a Regional Murrow Award. News 1226, on your side.
All right. Thanks, Riley. To sports now. Round one of the NBA draft has wrapped up. South Carolina's Colin Murray Boyles becomes the highest drafted Gamecock in the NBA lottery era, and the Dogs also making out with a first-round pick too, Joe.
Yeah, well, with the Hawks and Pelicans trading places last night, Atlanta took a page out of the Falcons' book, choosing to keep a Georgia guy in the Peach State.
The New Orleans Pelicans select Asa Newell from the University of Georgia.
Asa Newell from Atlanta stays in red. The forward fell further back in the draft than intended, but it worked out for Bulldogs fans who won't have to go very far to watch him. He's the first Bulldog to be selected in the first round in 5 years. Newell talking late last night about the selection.
Just being a kid from Georgia, and it means a lot coming back to the city, trying to be that hometown hero, going to the University of Georgia, and now going right up the road to the to the Hawks, growing up as a Hawks fan, having a Kyle Korver jersey, it's a blessing.
Now the Hawks don't have any second-round picks, so likely now they're going to turn to free agency, where Aiken's R.J. Felton is expected to be picked up by one of the 30 teams if his name is not called tonight.
You keep your auto insurance card on your phone? Most of us do because it's convenient. But handing a police officer, or anyone for that matter, an unlocked phone gives them access to a lot more than just that insurance card. I'm Jamie Tucker. Coming up, how to protect your information with just a tap on the screen.
First Alert Radar, powered by Jim Hudson Automotive Group.
This is your eye exam today. Stanton Optical. Easy, sir.
Welcome back in, folks. We are live here at SRP Park for the Ballpark Brawl.
Oh, yeah!
I'm lucky enough to be joined by Truck, the experienced Carlson. He's the MC for the event tonight. Truck, this is the second time y'all have done this here at the ballpark. How'd the first one go?
First one was completely different there, Warrior. I'm telling you what, it was chilly, it was windy. I was glad to have all this on. And today, I am wearing asbestos underwear for this one, brother.
Luckily, we got a little bit more heat for you today. But it is feeling a lot better than it has been the last couple of afternoons. We got this event starting at 6:30 p.m. tonight. What can people expect coming out to the ballpark?
I'll tell you what people can expect there, Warrior. We're going to hit harder than that meteorite did just up the road. This thing is going to be off the chain. There's going to be hits. There's going to be slams. It's going to be hard.
That's what I love to hear. We are excited for it. Now, crowd-wise, how many people are y'all expecting tonight?
Warrior, as many people as we can take. If you can get down here, get your ticket, get your butt in a seat, and be out here to witness the Warrior Edition, brothers.
There we go. Thank you, Truck.
Thank you, young man.
Truck, the experience of Carlson, everybody. Come out to Ballpark Brawl tonight. Going to be a ton of fun.
Be here!
We weren't worried about the meteorite. We're worried about Truck over there. Should be a great event there tonight. We appreciate him joining us. Well, almost every state allows drivers to show proof of insurance using an app on their phone, and digital driver's licenses are becoming more common too, but it raises some privacy concerns. Our consumer tech reporter Jamie Tucker explains.
It makes a lot of sense. You always have your insurance card with you when it's on your phone. No need for that paper copy. Plus, it's always updated. It's always available. But here's the concern. By handing a police officer, or anyone for that matter, your unlocked phone, they can go through, look at all your text messages, your photos, pretty much anything. That's why it's important to know how to lock your screen. It's easy to do. On iPhone, it's a feature called Guided Access. You'll find it in Settings, then Accessibility. Scroll to the bottom and turn on Guided Access. Set a passcode if you haven't already. Then when you open your insurance app to prove you're covered, triple press the side button and tap Start. Now, anyone with your phone can only see the screen you want them to see. And to turn off Guided Access, you'll just triple press the side button again and enter your passcode. Android phones have something similar called app pinning. Go to Settings, Security, and Privacy, tap Advanced, and turn on app pinning. And then open the app you want to pin. Let's say your insurance card app. From the app switcher screen, tap the app icon and select Pin. That app will stay on the screen locked. No swiping to the home screen or any other app. And to unpin it, hold down the back and home buttons together. Your phone will ask for your passcode before anything else can be accessed. It is important to set this up ahead of time. Keeping important documents on your phone is convenient. You always have them with you, but without a locked screen, you may be giving up more information than you intend. That's What the Tech. I'm Jamie Tucker.
Now to a new episode of Reeling with Riley, where he takes a trip down the Savannah River Rapids to Stallings Island. Take a look.
Welcome back in, folks, to another episode of Reeling with Riley. During these hot summer days, my favorite spot to go is the Savannah River. That cool water stays chilly all summer long, even when our air temps are getting well into the 90s, kind of like what we're dealing with today. But that fishing bite can stay constant throughout the day with that cooler water. We're going to be launching here just outside of the Savannah Rapids Pavilion. This is the best way to access going towards Stallings Island. Remember, you can't go on the island, but I think we're going to get lucky, maybe be able to feed a few donkeys or two after we get a little fishing done. So come along, we'll see what we catch. Donkey, donkey, donkey! Garrett. Come on. Garrett. Buddy. Buddy. Normally they participate and they eat, but they're pretty standoffish today. Fish coming right towards us. All right. Team no skunk. Little guy, but that's a fish. So that's what we're doing, just kind of casting in between these little grass patches, and they're just opportunistically tagging anything that kind of swims by. So nice little lodgy. Another fish. Oh, that one came off. Ah! Love the color of these Savannah River bass. With the water relatively clear, they got to kind of match that aquatic vegetation and get these really dark, pretty greens. He's got even some fluorescent green on the top of his back, but beautiful fish. We had a ton of fun today fishing around the Stallings Island here on the Savannah River. This is a great summer spot. You can come paddle in some chilly water. We got to see the donkeys. They didn't necessarily want to eat a ton, but it was great to see them. They looked to be in good condition. Caught 2 fish, hooked 5. I'm pretty upset I lost 3 fish today, but hey, we were able to land 2, and it's always fun being out here on the Savannah River. Tune in next week to see what we catch.
And I think we'll count that next fish that he caught, that third one. He was close to catching it, so I think we'll allow that one to slip by. Savannah River, great place to be with all the heat that we've been experiencing. Riley.
Summer spot. I wish I could hop over this ballpark real quick and take a dip in the river. It is a warm afternoon. Luckily, not as hot as what we've been the past couple of days. Have one last look at that 7-day forecast coming up. I'm Mike Costello. In all car roads. Welcome back in, folks. It is a nice afternoon here at SRP Park. Remember, we have the ballpark brawl going on starting at 6:30, but gates have already opened up. Temperatures are right now at 93 degrees, so it's seasonally hot, but luckily there's definitely not as much humidity as what we've had over the last couple of days. I definitely wouldn't be able to stand out here in the sunshine if it was yesterday or Tuesday. But a beautiful evening on tap. We got mostly sunny skies the next couple of hours. As we get closer towards this event starting at 6:30, we should be falling into the upper 80s and just gradually dropping through the 80s heading into this evening. Overnight lows eventually working their way down to the low 70s by daybreak tomorrow. Taking a quick look at just what we're expecting on the radar network over the next couple of hours, you can see very limited activity for most spots in the CS area. A lot of that action expected to stay closer towards Atlanta, mainly on west of us and north of us. Here's your 7-day forecast again. High temps will be seasonally hot all the way through the weekend. We'll keep those highs near 93, 94. Each afternoon we'll have the chance for a few showers and storms, but doesn't necessarily look like a washout.
Sounds good. Thanks, Riley. Stick with us. We have more news, weather, and sports coming up after a short break on News 12 at 6 o'clock.